Hello, ladies and gentlemen! Welcome to my corner of the internet once again. My name is Jason, and today we're back with some more Elder Scrolls Arena. Alright, I spent a little bit too long bashing my head against this riddle. Now, let's try that again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen! Welcome to my corner of the internet once again. My name is Jason, and today we're back with some more Elder Scrolls Arena. Last time we were in the Black Gate looking for some mystical hammer. I think that's what we were doing anyways. And we got down to the next floor, which is blockaded by this riddle door. So, I spent hours trying to figure out the answer to this riddle before I finally succumbed and said, I don't know what the heck the answer is, so I ended up looking it up. In this episode, we're gonna go past that door and hopefully find what we came into this dungeon looking for. So let's go ahead, up to the door. And the riddle, in case you forgot what it was last time, is what is the thing which comes in sheets yet cannot be folded or gather again? You know what? I tried everything, but apparently the answer is rain. I wasn't aware that rain came in sheets, so the door is now unlocked. All right. I really don't know what maybe it's just a term or something I'm not familiar with. That, rain comes in sheets. I guess, maybe I might have heard someone say that at one time. I don't know. Anyways, that's the answer. We're going through. Let's see. You know what? I really like that about the game, though. It's like, on the one hand, it's a little bit frustrating because it's kind of, the answer is so, it's so out there. It'd be nice if it gave you a bit more of an easier riddle or something, maybe a little more of that. I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's something common. I'm just a dork because I couldn't figure it out. But anyways, I like that the game tests your mind. I really like the puzzle elements that the Elder Scrolls have, and I'm glad that those are there. And I'm actually a little bit disappointed because, as far as I'm aware, we don't really see riddles later on in the series. Okay, which door do I go through? I'm gonna go ahead and guess we're gonna go through the middle door. Let's try door number 1. And we have a zombie. Oh! And we're gonna go ahead and fry him. But you know what? At the same time, I like that the game gives you alternatives. Arena is a freeform enough game that, let me guess. Oh, this is what's behind door number 2. Yes, there we go, okay. Wait, no? What? Am I lost? Oh, this is not as simple as going down a hallway and being like, okay, let's see what's through door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. No. This is kind of, it's once again maze-like. We're running through a dungeon, okay. But yeah, it gives you alternatives. Arena's very freeform. Like we saw last episode, I was able to go ahead and break out Steve and get through that door. And that's excellent. I like it that, players who really want to figure out the puzzles and stuff they can, or if they want to figure out another way through it. It's a different kind of puzzle. It's, I guess you could say, non-linearity in a way. Yes, you're following a linear story, but the way you can approach each problem, each challenge, that is completely up to you, and that is fantastic. And I'm glad to see that was a staple. That was something that was right there in the Elder Scrolls right from the very beginning. It's definitely a lot more, and it's a lot more satisfying. It's a lot more fulfilling when you solve one of these riddles or you find a way through a door. You get a good feeling. You're like, yes, I conquered that. 'Cause I am awesome. It's not, it's not like, okay, let's see. There are 3 symbols. Let's look in this room. Oh, look, there's 3 symbols. Let's go ahead and match the symbols. Ta-da! That's like connecting the dots. My kindergartner can connect the dots. It's not really that fulfilling. But anyways, I've been reading more of the manual again. Yes, it's actually really interesting reading material. And one thing that jumped out at me, I was kind of like, oh, that's odd, actually, is the fact that it says that every era is 1,000 years. And at first I was happy to hear that. I was like, yes, it makes tracking, the timeline of the Elder Scrolls so much easier. Because I was always like, okay, we're like 3rd era, whatever, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how long the eras are, so it's kind of hard to tell the time between some of the games, especially because, like, the first 4 games weren't such a big deal, because I think there's only, 34 years between, we'll say, the start of Arena and, like, the end of Oblivion. But Skyrim went ahead and made a jump to the 4th era, and all of a sudden I'm going, well, I don't know what year the 4th era, occurs in, and I was kind of hoping, well, if it's every 1,000 years, then we can clearly say that, Skyrim takes place, like, what would that be? Like, we'll say 400, close to 600 years later. But that's not the case. So, basically, what happens is what was written in the Arena manual, I guess, has been sort of retconned. It has been changed. It's no longer 1,000 years. In fact, now it's apparently every era is a different span of time, with some being almost 3,000 years. I think the first era is like 2,000 something years, and the second era is over 1,000 as well, and then the 3rd era ends short or abruptly. It's not a full-length era. So, and then I'm like, oh, that's so confusing. And that was a little bit disappointing for me, because I like things, nice, neat, and tidy, where I can just be like, okay, every 1,000 years. Nice, it's metric, it makes sense, it's metric, I like that. But no, unfortunately, that is not the case. So, well, speaking of that, I also did more reading the manual, because I was kind of curious. I was like, well, let's see, if this character, I'm going to be bringing this character from one game to the next, I thought it would be I thought it would be nice to be able to know more about this character, about Alexis. How old she is, for instance. Well, we know that the character from Arena was born in the 3rd era, 370. Thanks for lighting that up there, Bruce guy. So, 370, which means when the game starts, we are at, 389? Yeah, we're in the year 389. So that would make Alexis 19 at the beginning of Arena. And so, back up. So in addition to being, a psychopath who's able to just run through these dungeons and just destroy hordes of just unearthly creatures, she's pretty emotionally stable for a 19-year-old here. Let's see, we are in the year 392. So let's see, 19, so that's 20, 21, 22. So she is now 22. As of the time of this episode here, in this dungeon right now, she is 22 years old. And I think I find that interesting, because it's also hinted at that, why would Jagar Tharn care about some 19-year-old? Well, apparently, this is not confirmed. This is not official lore, but apparently it is. There's evidence to sort of lean towards the fact that she was part of the Elder Council of Tamriel, which would make sense, because that's something that Jagar Tharn would definitely want to neutralize. He would take out. And if you're not familiar with the Elder Scrolls series, basically, yes, the king, or the emperor, rather, he is kind of, the guy in charge, the ultimate power, but there is sort of a checks and balance, if I recall correctly, where there is a council that also basically aids and works in running the empire. And like I said, there's evidence to sort of show, the reason why Jagar Tharn would even care to deal with your character in Arena, and a few other little things. I'll have to dig those up, see if I can find them again, that kind of sort of hint at the fact that, you were part of the Elder Council. So, a 19-year-old dark elf who is a member of the Elder Council, that's who Alexis is. I think that's kind of interesting. That's kind of cool. What it also says to me, though, is that Alexis is a big, say, a big fan, or a big. She's highly in support of the Empire, which means that from a role-playing perspective, I have a feeling Alexis is going to be taking the Empire side in a lot of matters. So I'll have to keep that in mind. I'll have to remember that when getting into some of the later games when like I know in Morrowind there's a bit of a tension between like the Empire and the natives of Morrowind. From what little I played, I know that there's a bit of a conflict in Skyrim, and well, Oblivion you're pretty much helping the Empire out anyway, so that's gonna sort of play perfectly into it. But yes, we are an Imperial through and through. I think that's actually going to be one of the biggest challenges in role-playing this character, is that playing with the assumption or the mindset that she is the same character from game to game, and I actually think that's going to be kind of fun to kind of try to look at each game and each situation and try to, because there's obviously going to be some holes to that, because I don't think it was in. What was that sound? I don't think it was necessarily intended for people to play that way. It wasn't, each game is supposed to be sort of, come on, brain, work with me here. Its own self-contained adventure, where each one has a different hero and a different character in it. So by trying to make it the same one, there might be some, we'll say, contradictions. Like, for instance, some events that occur in, let's say, Morrowind, might conflict a little bit with, say, some different choices or things that might happen in a later game. Like, basically, notably, something happens in Morrowind that would make vampirism in future games a little bit difficult to reconcile, so I'm gonna have to take that into account when I get to those games. So that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be interesting. I think so, anyways. Okay, let's see. Wow. And you know what? It's funny because the game, it kind of throws the different curves at you. It's the last dungeon, I basically walked in and it was like, oh, here you go. Have the piece of the Staff of Chaos. And I was like, really? Oh, okay. That was very, very easy. Done. There we go. And then, so then I get into my mindset, well, maybe the next dungeon will have a short next floor. And then, of course, I don't get that. So then I'll go into the next dungeon expecting it to be, nice and long and hard and grueling and really, real grind. And then we'll get to the next dungeon and it'll be short. Arena is constantly playing with my expectations, and I like that. It keeps me on my toes. I don't know what to expect. Oh, Wraith. See, I didn't know the Wraith was going to be there. See? The example right there of the game. Hello? I looked away for a second to hit my quick cast, and I guess that's when he disappeared. Man, a lot of Minotaurs in here. It's cool that it's a cool game that you're giving me low-level enemies so I can feel like I'm mighty. But at the same time, come on, guys. I want that experience. I want to be level 20. I want to hit level 20 so I can just be like, yes, I'm level 20. I'm actually thinking about that because as I was playing this, I was like, it would be kind of fun to sort of try to recreate, like in, say, Morrowind. I mentioned this before, but it was on my mind again. Recreate. Whoa! Thanks for the quick fill up there, Wraith guy. Recreate, in the construction set in Morrowind and Oblivion and Skyrim. Recreate Alexis in the editor and put her into the game world. But then I was thinking about it, I'm like, how would I really represent this kind of power? Because they use completely different systems. You know, a level 20 in Arena is godlike. And, you know, a level 20 in, say, even like Morrowind, you know, it's powerful, but it's not like the one girl wrecking crew here that Alexis is. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, what are the traits? What are the defining traits? Well, she needs to have basically a ton of health, because she's always got that shield on, because that's how I play her. That's right, I don't care. So I'd have to artificially boost her HP, because in the future games, shield does not work the same way as it does in Arena. In Arena, shield actually goes ahead and basically gives you additional health. Gives you additional health, you know, hit points. Whereas I believe even in... Actually, don't quote me on this. I think the change was in Daggerfall? I'm going to say Morrowind. I know for certain in Morrowind, it acts more as a armor class modifier. So the better your shield, the the more damage is reduced. And there's a limit to that, so you can only reduce damage by so much. So I could pump up her, we'll say, you know, shield or to the max it can go and give her like some insane armor class, but it's still only going to reduce damage by so much. So to properly translate Alexis over to the future game, we would have to actually boost her health. Okay, where am I? I don't even know where I'm at now. Let's see what's over there. The next thing would have to be, she has to be able to be invisible and cast spells at the same time. Which probably tells me we'd have to use Chameleon. Because right now, invisibility, I think they realized that invisibility was overpowered because they fixed it in Daggerfall. Kind of. Basically, there's that sound again. There's like that wee. It's a cool sound. See, now I can't remember what I was saying. Thanks a lot, Wraith guy. You distracted me. I was so occupied in having to fill up all my stuff that. Oh yes, invisibility. I can't remember if I did sneaky peek, like, whatever. I think I did. Anyways, yeah, invisibility, basically, it gets changed so that when you attack, actually no, it was that way in this game as well, but when you cast a spell or basically do any action, it cancels out. Whereas in Arena, you can at least cast spells while you're invisible. Actually, you know what? Speaking of reconciling differences, it just occurred to me that, okay, I have to run past them. Run past. Take a hit. It's gonna have kind of like the Mega Man effect, or you know, the sequel RPG effect, where if it has the same character, you have to figure out why did the character become so weak between the two different games. So I've got to come up with some sort of in-story or in-game reason that at the beginning of, say, Daggerfall, Alexis is just some level 1 scrub again. Don't know. Actually, I've got an idea. But I'll keep that to myself until we get to Daggerfall, and then I will share it, and I'll be like, ha! And you guys will be like amazed at my amazing story crafting, character building abilities. And all will be like, yay, Jason. Or everyone will look at me and just be like, dude, that is stupid. And I'll say, I don't care. It's mine and I love it. Man, a lot of locked doors. Jason, you remember in a previous episode where you said you wanted to test if you could break down doors with your sword? Yeah, actually, I do remember that voice in my head. Yeah, maybe you should check that out now that the opportunity presents itself. Great idea. Yep. I I can hit the door and cause damage, which tells me that I can break down doors. I don't want to do that though, because my sword currently, it's really only here for looks. And to give me sort of an endurance boost for when I level up. That's really the only reason I have my sword anymore. Okay, where am I? Man, I am just all over the place. Yeah. I thought we were gonna get the hammer today. But you know, that's what I've been saying about the last how many dungeons? I'm like, yes, this episode we are absolutely gonna get Object X. And then, do we end up getting it? No, we don't get it because this is games from back in the day. They want to give you your money's worth, you know? They want to give you nice big sprawling dungeons, and to be honest, I'm glad that they did so. Oh. I see a key. Can I pick it up? You have found a ruby key. And I haven't saved in a while, so maybe I should probably do that as well. We'll save this as work. There we go. All right, you know what? I think this is actually a good stopping point. We just got a key. We've been all over the map. Let me see, where are we? We started over here. Yeah, we're all over the place. I have a feeling it's gonna be somewhere down in this region here. You know, probably right on the other side of that wall. That's probably, yes, actually, I think that's exactly where it is. It's probably somewhere over here. Well, we'll check, we'll find out. But anyways, we're gonna stop things here. And next time, we will continue exploring the Black Gate for the thing which we seek. I'm pretty sure it's a hammer. I hope it's a hammer. I've been saying it's a hammer for all this time, and they'll be like, no, it's a spoon. I'm like, darn it! Anyways, next time we'll do that. And until next time, though, I would like to ask you all to game on.